Hello and welcome to Frank's School. There's a fly buzzing around it. Got the door open. It's summertime now. The measuring of the ruins of Xose's mill. There's going to be 4 videos today. This is just to introduce the next 3 really. In the next one I'm going to show as detailed drawing as I could of the plan that is looking down of this mill site. But and let me tell you, it's been hard to do. And then the other 2 that follow, one is my videos of the site, which looks like the jungle. And then the last, the 4th one, is Shirley's slideshow of the site, which again looks like something in the middle of a jungle. I keep thinking of Machu Picchu, really, because everything is so overgrown. It's very hard to do. And I'm not really quite done. What I've done is an elevation, or a plan. That's when you look straight down. I did a plan more or less of this much, which I'll show you in the second video in a moment. I still need to do the elevations. An elevation is when you look, instead of looking straight down, you look at a building. And I'll do an elevation from here, an elevation from there, and an elevation from there, as best I can. But as I say, it's really hard. It's coming now. I think maybe I'll say it when I sit down with the drawing, that now is a time for archaeologists. There's something called industrial archaeology. And industrial archaeology, I think that's the way you say it. Xose knew this. I mean, what we've done is we've documented what is there to the extent that we can, and that will be like a baseline. We'll see what becomes of it, where it's going to go. If maybe it'll keep going downhill, I don't know. But to the extent that we could, in the time we had, we measured what seemed to be there, And now, I mean, it's going to be a job of cleaning the site up, of getting all the living stuff out of the building, the trees and the vines and stuff, and then really, as I say, archaeology. I think it's going to take archaeology, or it would be a wonderful site to do it. The two millstones are there. So anyway, this is just an introduction to the next video, which I'll show you close up with numbers. We actually measured it. But in general, here's the site. Amarel is the closest town. It's over in there. Cat, get out of there. This is a bigger cat. This is a bigger cat. Come on, cat. Cat. Amarel is a little village. Gonzar is somewhere down in here. That's where the church is. And we parked it at Amarel. There's a very narrow road that comes down through here, and a wall along it. There's a lower bridge in the river that has a road that you could actually drive a 4-wheeler onto and across. There's a mill. I guess it doesn't exactly belong to Xose. I think Xose owns the ground, but it's a public mill. You'll see it. It's down there. And there's a wall that goes from the river up to that road to divide this off, which I've decided is some kind of pasture. Sheep, goats, maybe cows. I don't know. There's a break in the wall. I could have shown that. There's a break in the wall where cattle can get down there. Then when you get down to the site, I should call these features. Some are obvious. This is a bridge. There's a gap in the middle, which is evidence that it was made for 2 animals. 2, not 1, but 2 animals to pull a cart, probably 2 small cows. And the road goes off, I think, in the direction of that church in Gonzar. I'm quite sure that there must have been some kind of connection. Maybe it connected with this road, I'm not sure. I'll give the GPS, or the coordinates, so that on Google Earth you can see exactly where that spot is, and this spot is, and where we parked. The other coordinates, I'm just not so sure they were right, because the foliage was so thick it was hard to get, but I'm fairly confident of of these three spots. Well, all right, let's see. Let me start up here. The prise d'eau, the water trap. Here's the dam where the water went to the mill, and there's a turnout for if you didn't want the water to go to the mill. Then into the mill. This I keep calling it the mill. There's two. There were two wheels, and there's two stones. That's the milling floor. Here's the kitchen. But upstairs here, there was living space. And upstairs here, there was living space. So these are two floors. There's a bake oven. I haven't actually seen it because it's too overgrown. And there's a hood with a chimney here, so I call this the kitchen. This, I've been calling it the barn. I maybe should call it the stable. Very clearly it was meant for animals, and we measured it. You'll see what we could. There's a little tiny feeding trough here. There's a wall right in here. Now this is a separate building. I thought maybe this was where the ox cart, if you want to call it, the cow cart, was parked maybe. I'm not sure, but at this point I would guess that this was for equipment. Wheeled equipment, maybe. Here's that bridge, I mentioned it. There's a small wall right here, and it is so steep here that you don't really need any more of a wall. There's a little bit of a gate. This, I think, the animals came down in here. This isn't really right. To water, I think. I think there was a place to drink at the creek, or at the river there. All right, now this and this I think was I say pasture. Those are the principal sites I think. But I have come to suspect, and the water went through here underneath a level spot and back into the river. Yeah, I'm going to show you this in better detail in just a minute. It's exposed here for a little bit. There's two arches where the water came out. But then it's under stone, and then re-emerges here to go back into the river. And that standing stone is odd. I didn't really film it. It's narrow. It stands about that high. It's up on edge. But I have come just recently to suspect that this level spot was inside, not outside. And that there were posts on top of this wall, and so that the roof came up and then went back down. And this I think was wooden, and this I think has been removed. Now this is just theory, but there had to be some kind of a way to get all the grain into the wheels and the flour back out. And there is a window right here. I think there's a missing part to the building. At one point you see Shirley standing on this wall, and right there I think it went to wood. And one of the reasons I came to think that is because there are about 3 or 4 holes in this wall that are on the same level, and I think they supported a wooden floor. But this is just theory. I mean, this is the kind of thing that it's going to be hard to figure out. I think the passageway went like this, and if you were going to, and then in through here for the animals. But I think it was too circuitous to bring the grain in through here, down through the door here. I think it probably went in here. All right, well, anyway, that was a little longer than I expected, but the next video I'm going to go over there and I'm going to actually show you the drawing, and I'll show you numbers, so hopefully an architect or somebody with interest can take this, and when I give the elevations, then they ought to be able to make a 3D mock-up of this, and it would be great if they could lay it on that bank with its very steep contour. But I don't know. Well, I hope you come back to see the more detailed drawing. See you soon, I hope.